An utter shock, this union. He lies through his back teeth. It's the highest yoga marriage. According to Patanjali, the definition of yoga is the removal of the fluctuations of the mind. And what better battleground than a marriage? And as you know, the Vedic description of yoga is union. Doesn't that define marriage? I've known both Akka and Glynis for many, many years separately. Glynis through yoga, Akka through boga. In fact, I'm not sure if I introduced you.
I met Akka when you brought him to Roche's. Do you remember she used to have a satsang on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
And you came and sat on a sofa. I was there already, and Hazel was on that side, and you sat there, and Akka sat between us. And Akka and I started talking. And Hazel said, "Who's that?" And I said, "I've no idea." And she said, "I said he's George's mate. I don't know." And she said, "Gosh, you're talking to him like you've known him forever." Oh, she said.
Well, interesting enough, this is my experience of you two as well. I was saying to Akka before you came out that this marriage was consecrated way before we were ever born, I think. And what you've done today is just a ratification of that in this realm.
Oh, that's lovely, George. Oh.
I'm going to embarrass him now, because isn't that what I'm supposed to do?
Yes.
Well, I promise I won't go too much he lies through his back teeth, such as the time he streaked down Putney High Street wearing nothing but a grin.
No.
Putney High Street?
Oh, yeah.
Putney, not Putney. God!
These were the facts. I was doing it round the corner by the river.
Oh, yeah. That's not true.
It is.
Could you tell us a year this might have happened?
Yes, because I used to hang out in Putney.
Yeah, I think it was 2014. Akka is probably the closest thing I have on this earth. We're like brothers. I remember when we first met, it was at school, we were 12 or 13, and God knows what class we were in. He said maths, I thought it was religious education, that's how much we were paying attention. And I thought he looks just as confused as I was. So, I've got to get to know this guy. And the rest is history. We've had a life of rock and roll, I think. One of the things that's always inspired me about Akka is his relentlessness. He's never satisfied for sitting on his laurels. He always makes the most of whatever he's got. Such as the time he had a party and asked us to bring something, so I took along a 20-foot plank, as you do. I could just about get it in the house.
When?
Again, 2015. And he said to me a few weeks later, you know, that plank really came in handy. He utilises everything. He makes the most of everything. I remember when he started playing guitar, and the reason he started learning guitar was to write songs. He'd learn 2 or 3 chords, and immediately he was writing songs. To me, that's always been a great inspiration.
What did he do with the plank? Did he tell you?
If I walked it, I don't know.
It was really useful.
Turned it into something, yeah.
If I could think of a phrase that sums up our relationship, mine and Akka's, it's, well, that's another fine mess you've got me into. Such as the time
What have you guys done?
we came out of a pub in Surrey, it was pouring with rain, and there was a fairground just about being dismantled. And Akka thought it would be a gala idea if we both volunteered to help dismantle this thing, which we did. And yours truly ended up falling off the back of a lorry with an iron beam across my chest, buried in the mud. It cost us much more to have our stuff cleaned than the pittance we actually got.
They didn't pay us, did they? They didn't pay us.
They didn't.
No.
And the other time,
It's outrageous.
Again, we guardedly handed.
You're so helpful. Where was that pole supposed to be?
They were literally chucking dodgem cars at us. Here, put this away, mate.
Literally.
And it was a wet night, and it was mud everywhere.
Yeah.
We were like in our teens, weren't we?
No, 40-something. And the other time, we guardedly handed our passports and birth certificates over to some charlatan. So officially, neither of us exist because we haven't got birth certificates.
He promised us a free house in Greece, and he said, "Oh,
Yes,
you
he
want to get
did.
passport." So we said, "Oh, that sounds like a good
Don't
deal."
you always fall for these things?
Really? Is it
He always
true?
falls for these
It
things.
was like a vacation in Greece.
Oh, no,
Hey.
the Times Square thing.
And he was sitting there against the light, so we couldn't see his face, in this strange place in the West End that he asked us to come
Twirling
to.
his moustache as if we want your passport.
Only your past that.
We were kids, and he said, we'll pay you, we'll have something to stay, we'll pay for your fare, but of course we'll need your passport so that we can make the arrangements. Oh yeah, here
And
we
your
are.
birth certificate.
Never heard from him ever again. He went to the
That's
office,
sayonara,
it was rented by
official
the hour, it
documents.
was one of those offices that you rent for an hour or two.
It's always a good sign.
And the other time,
CID came and interrogated us, saying,
Did
"Well,
they
we don't
really?
have passport." They thought we were on some sort of scam.
yeah, we sold them to a guy in a chip shop.
It's the frog thing.
We came out of a party
that.
or a pub. We both had too many orange juices. We couldn't remember where he parked the car. We got in the car and we both just sat there and he said, "I don't know where we are, which way?" Well, no point in asking me. I've got the navigational skills of a dishcloth. But I had to say something. So I said straight ahead, which he did. And the next thing we know, this iron bar had shattered the windscreen.
Another one.
A lot of iron bars in this story. Symbolic.
And we just sat there, looking at the shattered.
How did it get there?
We drove into it.
I was with George was with me, and Dave was with us. Dave Correll,
In the back, yeah.
and he said, "Let's take a shortcut that way." And it was through the common. He said, "Let's just go through the common," because you could do things like that in the 70s. Nobody cared.
Sure.
Yeah, you could do anything in the 70s. The 70s was an amazing decade where you could do anything.
You could smash anything up in the 70s.
And it didn't matter.
No problem.
Because they had no such thing as CCTV or mobile phones or anything. And so we did. But we didn't notice what that is, one of these iron bars that comes down. It was basically a pedestrian path with an iron
explains it.
bar. And we
You
didn't
know,
see
you
that.
do.
Went,
Straight into it. Wow.
and that was a bit alarming.
Was that your car?
Yeah.
Serves you right, I think.
Before you folks came out, I was saying that a successful marriage, I think, can be shown by the fruits of the tree and the two sparkling beings.
Oh.
I'm going to cry now. That have been brought into existence because of you two. I've known Glynis a long time. In fact, we were in India together in the mid-80s.
Yeah.
I have fond memories, Glynis, of passing in the corridor and saying hello.
Yes.
Do you remember that moment?
I do. Occasionally having tea together in
Oh, God, those were the
Amrit.
days. Those were the days.
Yes.
But having known both for such a long time, I've seen them both flourish, both grow spiritually. You've engaged in the biggest battlefield of all, which is getting to know yourself. And what better place to do that than in a union? They say, I remember talking to an old monk in India about unions and marriage. And he said, if your buttons aren't pushed, then what's the point? And it put me off getting married, honestly. I finally got it. A bit too late, but I got it. Luckily, you cottoned on early enough. Love brings up anything unlike itself. And that's what a marriage is about. It's about bringing those things up, making a commitment to each other. That whatever happens, you're there for each other. And Acker and Glynis have certainly manifested that. You've boldly gone at the risk of splitting infinitives. In a place where no single person has gone before.
I thought you were going to say splitting infinity, actually.
Yeah.
Well, that is
we
to
haven't done that
boldly
yet.
go. That is a split
Yeah.
infinitive.
Yeah, but not infinity. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Not infinities, yeah. Well, I think it's the orange juice that
Yeah.
might have.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't bore you too long.
Very good at speeches.
Yeah.
Suffice it, Teeth, to say that these are the two dearest souls I've had the privilege to meet and befriend. Live long and prosper.
Post for that.
And
Yeah.
Very good at this.
a toast not only to all the people that have come here to celebrate this, but also to the gorgeous maid of honour. And it should be a son of honour
Yeah.
as well. Well, I think you're all maids of honour.
You just.
Acker was scraping the barrel. He couldn't find someone to be best man, so I said, all right then.
No, you were the only
You're the only
possible
one.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, God bless. And
And Sarah.
may this grace and blessing continue.
Thank
Always.
you.
Acker and Glynis.
Yeah.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yeah.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Knocking back a glass of Prosecco.